Okay, this is another slight confessional video, I guess. Um, this, I think, is all the cameras I have collected. Well, these are, I should say. And I thought I'd just walk through it and look through them for my own purposes, and therefore might as well film it to begin with. So I'm hoping to get rid of a lot of this, by the way. That's kind of the point of it all being in one place on the table here. But I'm just going to kind of walk through it, I guess. Haven't really prepared anything or thought about what half of this stuff is, so we'll see if it makes sense to me. Never mind anyone else. So I guess if we start in this corner, this is my Micro Four Thirds gear. So we have an Olympus EP1, which was their first Micro Four Thirds camera. It's pretty old. I bought that on eBay as just the body, no lens, no battery even, no nothing. Supposedly with quite a few issues. Turns out it doesn't really have many issues at all, if any really, just a bit scuffed and battered here and there, but even that, it's still pretty good condition. It's got the Olympus body cap lens on there just because I don't have a spare body cap, and that's an interesting little lens in itself, pretty nifty little thing. Far too expensive for what it is, but still curiosity. I'm actually filming on my, you can see the box for it there, my newly acquired Olympus OMD EM5. I may do a video on that at some point, but it's probably been done to death, so it's safe to say that that's an amazing camera. And the kind of reason that I'm getting rid of a lot of other stuff is because that is so good. There we have the EPL3, another great little camera, also Micro Four Thirds, so all these same lenses. That's kind of what started me off on the whole Micro Four Thirds thing. Dropped it, so cut a couple of little nicks out of the sides, so I haven't been tempted to sell it just because of that reason. I don't know if I'd really get back really what it's worth. It's very minor damage, but you kind of think, well, it's probably worth just keeping hold of. Bags and boxes for the various lenses and bits and pieces. So I have the lens I'm using now with the OMD is my best lens. That's the Panasonic Leica Summilux 25mm f1.4. So there's the hood and the lens cap for that. That came with the OMD at an amazing price, which is why I grabbed it. It made the OMD about half the price it should have been if you kind of take off what the lens was worth. A couple of flashes for the camera's small flashes that sit on there. You can see there I've got the Lumix lens is the 14mm f2.5, I think. So a nice wide lens. Obviously you've got a 50% crop factor on Micro Four Thirds, so the 25mm I'm using now is really a 50 in 35mm terms, so that 14 is a 28. Then we've got we have a Olympus 45 to 150mm, so equivalent of about the 300 at the long end. Again, another bargain on eBay. No lens caps with it and things like that, and there's a tiny little speck in the front element which doesn't seem to affect the photos, but it was about probably less than half the price that you would normally pay. The very well regarded 45mm, so 90mm equivalent f1.8 from Olympus, really nice lens. The one behind it there, the other Olympus lens, is the kit lens off the EPL3, so it's a 14 to 42 I think, and that's basically it. So I've got, including the one that I'm using now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lenses. And I think that's me pretty well covered. I'd like to get what is kind of known as the kit lens for the OMD, because that didn't come with that, the 12 to 50, because it's weather sealed, and so is the OMD. So for kind of wet and windy situations, that might be quite good, but we'll see. I'm in no real hurry. Okay, so that's the Micro Four Thirds gear, and that's kind of what I really use for digital photography. And there's a lot of other stuff that's going to be going, as you will see. So I'll just skip down to here because this is just a pile of bits that I've found around the house that I'm just kind of tidying up into one place. So just a Gorilla Pod which I bought in Hungary, in Budapest, for very little money, which was a bit odd. I kind of wonder if it's a fake one, but it seems to work. A random Minolta lens and some other bits and pieces, some cards and some filters and straps and little lens cases and what have you. And okay, so that's those bits. I guess if we start at the back again, I've kind of got a row of toy, mostly Lomography cameras here, and whatever you think about Lomography, I'm not a the focus is great on this, isn't it? I'm not a great fan myself, but you would kind of be hard pressed to see that looking at what I've got here. But the reason for that is I've only bought one camera from them brand new, and that was only because I had 20% off, or they were doing 20% off. So I've got the 3 Diana F Plus cameras with flash. They're 120mm roll film cameras. One at the back you might be able to see has the instant back mounted on it, so that actually takes Instax, Fuji Instax mini film for instant photos. Bit crap, tends to get jammed up, or took it out on a night out the other week, and I'd had far too many drinks, but it also just seemed to jam up and I got very frustrated with that. The middle one is just a stock Diana. Then you've got the coloured one there, the CMYK version, and the only reason I have almost any of these is because I've seen them on eBay or somewhere else super cheap, like £10, and just bought them because I know they're worth a lot more than that, or Lomography like to think they're worth more than that, and I know I can sell them for certainly more than that. The one at the back with the instant back came with the original 120 back, the instant back, the 35mm back, quite a few other bits and pieces I forget now, certainly the flash, and the box there that you can see, and there's some books under there because you get a book with them, what have you, and that cost me probably less than the Diana would have done. Yeah, certainly, in fact less than the Diana would have done direct from Lomography, so a bit of a bargain probably. Well, I don't know, you could say it's still a plastic piece of crap. The Lomography Colour Splash, I've not used that. That cost me less than a tenner, I think, on eBay. And 2 of the fisheye, the fisheye 1 and the fisheye 2. Again, bought the fisheye with the box. The box is there. Locally to me, in a kind of pawn shop place, for not very much money, and because the fact it had never been used, it was all boxed up and sealed pretty much. And the fisheye 2 was just again like £10 or something, so I bought that. Again, I just need to get rid of those probably, not really going to use them. In other toy cameras, we'll kind of have to scoot around here. The only one I've actually bought from Lomography is the Constructor, which you can see the box for there, which is a DIY 35mm SLR, and it's probably their cheapest camera. It's not actually around, I've forgotten where I've put it, but that is £29 in the UK. And it's probably the only camera I would buy from them new, and I spent today putting that together finally, kind of put it off for a week or two, and although it was a tiny bit frustrating, it wasn't as difficult as I'd been led to believe. There was only one kind of really annoying bit, and it's a really nice little camera, and it's amazing. Once you put it together, you load the film in and you kind of go, wow, it works, I can't believe it. So it's a really nice little thing, and the fact that it's actually reasonable value kind of helps. And also there we have an action sampler on the top. It's interesting to look at the marketing. That's obviously a very early attempt, I think, by Lomography, because that is not their usual standard of box, and it's interesting to see where I'm guessing that dated back before they kind of got into the groove of their current marketing, and you know, you can see a lot of opinions about that kind of thing online. Again, just a couple of quid or something on eBay. I've got 2 Holga 135 BC, so that's a 35mm Holga. again cheap. Came bundled. One came bundled with a Diana, I think, for like 20 quid for the both, for the two or something. So you know what you're going to do. Not much to say about those. There's a flash, actually, a Holga flash in that box as well. You can see there the Lomo. That's the Lomo LCA Plus. God knows what Lomography charged for those, 200 odd pounds or something. I got that for 50 or maybe 60 pounds on eBay. To be honest, it's far too much to pay for a simple camera, but you're not going to get one any cheaper than that, and I thought, why not? I'm going to try it out. So that's that. I don't know where that one is either, actually. I thought it was on here. Seem to have misplaced it. Anyway, so that's my Micro Four Thirds and the toy gear. So we'll move on.